starting. I am just going to do a quick live. Hang on, I might actually the APA referencing style. I hate APA. Hey? You're thirsty? Okay, I'll get you an apple juice in a minute, okay? Apple juice. So APA is one of the types of referencing that's in text, which means it's in the middle of you writing your paragraph and breaks up the flow, as I said yesterday in my big whinging session about APA and how crap it is. So in most cases, you'll get one of two things happening. One is that you'll mention the author's surname at the start of the sentence and then have to do brackets with the year that the publication was published. Or you might have a sentence with all the information and then have the author, year, and potentially the page number in the source at the end of the sentence in brackets. Hey, Alicia, this is for you. So that's how you organise it. What I'll do is maybe do some examples in the comments section of this video too. And I might also go through and do like a full-on version of what I would do in a tutorial and put that up in my website for people this week, because it seems like actually these referencing videos are getting some traction, much more than I expected. So it must be that time of semester or something like that. It's hitting the mark. When you've got several authors on an article, you just put the first author that's listed on the publication and then et al. et.al. Thank you, I'm trying, Alicia. What else is there? So I found there's what version of this? Uh-oh. Interference from Eamon. I had the style guide for APA open on a screen. Oh, and he's taken it over. Anyway, not to worry. So always with all of these referencing styles, go to your subject outline or the course outline for your subject and just see what they ask you to do, because they will have these sorts of guidelines. And for some subjects I've taught, we've asked students to add the page numbers where usually you wouldn't for APA style, so that might be something that you get asked to do. Sometimes you'll find that one author has written multiple articles that you want to include, so you'll have to do a lettering system with them to indicate which one you're referring to when you cite them. So that's something to keep in mind as well. There's a different way of referencing websites, which I think a lot of people struggle with, and I always have to check this because I never remember exactly how to do it. So just keep referring back to that style guide because it will steer you in the right direction. I should have said too, look for, as much as possible, look for sources that have been published through academic journals or academic presses, because they are the most reliable. Don't, especially if you're doing an education degree, don't use, I think it was Squirk. Don't use like random websites for your material. Go and find stuff. And if you're having trouble researching and finding stuff and haven't tried Google Scholar, try Google Scholar. If you're still having trouble after that, send me a message and I'll help you out because I can at least get you started. But you should get some pointers from your lecturers as well. Just trying to think of what else I can say about APA style. With APA, because it's in text, you just have to list the full reference in your bibliography. So it's not so much work as footnotes, I guess. Still an inferior system, but yeah, I guess there are some perks like that if you want to say it that way. And depending on which type of in-text referencing system it is, the bibliography will look a bit different. So again, refer back to the style guide or the subject outline because that'll steer you in the right direction. I was going to say too, I was talking to someone on Twitter last night about organising your sources as you go with your research. And there are programs like EndNote and Zotero, which I've tried, but I often plough through the research, find a whole heap of stuff, save it onto my desktop, take notes by hand because I'm like that, or I'll type up quotes from the material and put that into like a note document, and then do like a dump of data that I want to use in the essay or whatever I'm writing. At this stage it's a book. So I put quotes, like large quotes that I know are relevant to what I'm trying to say, into the main text, and then I organise my writing around that later and cull. So a lot of the time I end up doing my footnotes manually anyway, even though those programs are there, and I found that's a bit better because a lot of the time they will stuff up some minor punctuation point and I'll have to go through and fix it all anyway, and I'm just like, well, you know, I don't like that. Maybe I'm a control freak. I don't know. At least when it comes to footnotes, that's how I feel. So yeah, those are my pointers. But yeah, if you are finding that you're just all the research is getting on top of you and you're really losing track of your material, then that can be a good way to go. And you can save PDFs and stuff into those programs like EndNote and Zotero, so that once you've found a really great source, it's there and you can keep referring back to it as you go through. For me, I found it just as easy to have them in a folder on my computer, or just keep downloading it every time I go to the library website, which is not as productive, but usually I've remembered what I'm looking for. I think when you're doing a short-term course and a quick essay, it's not quite the same as when you're burying yourself into a particular field of research for several years. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but do you know what I don't know. It's a long time since I did an undergrad, and all I can remember is that I was in a rush, wanting to get things flung together, and I wasn't thinking as long term about engaging with particular scholars. If you are thinking about that at undergraduate level, then you're a superstar. And there you go, Bub. Is that what you wanted? Did you want that back on? So I think that's all I can think of to say. But yeah, I'll do some demos tomorrow. If I get a chance, maybe it'll be tonight. I'll try and do something with QuickTime so that I can just upload something with screenshots and screen sharing, because I can't figure out how to do that on a Facebook Live. And then I can show you how to insert in-text references. And like I said, with the footnotes too, it's the same thing. If you're wondering whether to put in a reference in a certain sentence, just go ahead and do it. Don't worry about it if you've got too many references. It's better to have too many than not enough. All right, so I think that's it for now. Eamon and I are going to keep playing with some of the trucks that we've got here. We've set up a truck shed and a truck depot, and we'll be deploying trucks across the whole house for the rest of the day. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.